Picture a place where even the tiniest nook or forgotten corner becomes an enchanting focal point, thanks to a thoughtfully arranged pot or planter. Your garden, terrace, or patio can transform into a botanical haven, a canvas painted with a rich variety of shapes and hues, all through the art of displaying garden pots. If you've ever wondered how to elevate your garden's aesthetic, make small spaces feel larger, or simply add a touch of elegance and charm, then this guide is for you. Let's dive deep into the magic of potscaping and discover how you can use pots to create your own personalized paradise, right outside your door. Understanding the power of pots in garden design, pots and planters have an incredible potential to transform any garden, terrace, or patio. Whether you're looking to add a splash of color, fill a gap in a flower border, frame a doorway, or cultivate plants that wouldn't thrive in your native soil, the versatility of pots makes them an invaluable tool for any gardener. At their best, they go beyond being mere containers for plants. They become elements of design that enhance the overall aesthetic of your garden. One of the most creative uses of pots is potscaping, a term that essentially means landscaping with pots. It involves grouping pots together in a way that they complement each other and their surroundings, creating a cohesive, beautiful display. It's like painting with plants, where each pot is a brushstroke contributing to a stunning garden masterpiece. But where do you start when it comes to choosing and arranging pots? Let's learn from an expert, Diane Perry, whose garden is a living testament to the art of using pots to their full potential. Choosing the right pots, size, style, and location matter when considering which pots to use in your garden, terrace, or patio. The first thing to think about is their appearance and how well they blend with the environment. Diane advises that the pot's style, size, and color should complement its surroundings and the plant it will hold. It's crucial to pick a pot that not only looks attractive but also matches the overall theme of your garden. The size of the pot is another important consideration. A pot that's too small can restrict a plant's growth, while a pot that's too large might overwhelm the plant or space. Additionally, good drainage is essential. No one wants a waterlogged plant. Depending on the climate, it's also wise to select frost-hardy pots to withstand cold temperatures, especially if you live in a region with harsh winters. Diane suggests looking for old, sturdy pots, such as those made from old-fashioned concrete from the 1960s. They can provide a timeless look and blend well with various garden settings, even if they're a bit rustic. For more prestigious areas, such as near the front door, consider selecting more decorative pots made of materials like ceramics. These pots can enhance the entrance's appearance and create a welcoming ambience. Diane highlights her own experience with framing a doorway using large ceramic pots containing skimmer, a resilient, evergreen plant that thrives in pots filled with ericaceous soil, which is perfect when the garden soil isn't suitable. Creating visual impact with pots, framing, filling gaps, and adding color. A well-placed pot can serve as more than just a vessel for plants. It can become a powerful design tool that frames key elements of your garden. For instance, placing pots on either side of a doorway can create a symmetrical, balanced look that draws the eye and makes an entrance feel grander. Diane shares how she used pots to redefine the front area of her house, a space that was previously neglected. By selecting pots that matched in color and size and planting them with skimmer, she added year-round greenery and visual interest, transforming a plain entryway into a focal point of the garden. Beyond framing, pots can be a clever solution for filling in gaps within a garden bed, particularly in late summer or early autumn when some plants start to fade. Diane explains how she strategically uses pots filled with colorful plants to add a burst of life where there might otherwise be an unsightly void. By using pots that blend with the background, like her vintage concrete pots, she creates a seamless look that doesn't appear forced or artificial. Overcoming gardening challenges with pots. Growing difficult plants. Pots aren't just for decoration. They can also solve some common gardening challenges. For example, Growing certain plants like hostas can be challenging in open garden beds because they are vulnerable to pests like slugs and snails. However, planting them in pots makes it much easier to manage these pests. Diane, a big fan of hostas, shares how pots allow her to grow these beautiful, leafy plants without the constant worry of them being devoured by garden pests. Hostas thrive in pots, provided they are well watered and fed regularly. Diane emphasizes the importance of regular watering and feeding, using a good liquid fertilizer, such as tomato feed, a couple of times a season. The pots should have sources to ensure they retain enough moisture without becoming waterlogged. This careful management helps her hostas flourish throughout the spring and summer, remaining healthy and lush, even as other plants begin to fade. Enhancing seasonal displays with pots, adding color and texture. One of the most exciting aspects of using pots in the garden is their ability to enhance seasonal displays. Diane talks about her approach to potscaping, where she creates dynamic arrangements that change with the seasons. In late summer or early autumn, when many plants begin to die back, pots can be filled with late blooming flowers or evergreens to maintain color and interest. Diane uses old concrete pots to provide a muted, neutral backdrop that highlights the vibrant colors of the plants they hold, allowing them to shine without overwhelming the garden's overall aesthetic. In addition to filling gaps, Diane uses pots to create stunning focal points in the garden. She refers to her collection of pots as a potscape, a carefully curated arrangement where each pot and plant is chosen to contribute to a harmonious whole. She likes to mix different pot sizes, shapes, and colors, often beginning with larger pots at the back and smaller ones at the front to create depth and dimension. Adding small conifers to the mix can provide a vertical element and an evergreen backdrop that anchors the display. Curating a potscape. Tips for arranging pots for maximum impact. Creating a beautiful potscape involves more than just randomly placing pots around your garden. Diane offers some valuable tips on how to arrange pots for maximum visual impact. She suggests starting with a color theme that complements the surrounding landscape. While it's not necessary for all pots to match perfectly, having a cohesive color palette can tie the display together. For instance, Diane likes to use a mix of pinks, purples, and blues in her pots because these colors are not only visually pleasing but also attract beneficial wildlife like bees and butterflies. She mentions how agapanthus, a summer blooming plant with striking blue flowers, was particularly effective at attracting butterflies this year. By carefully selecting plants that bloom at different times, she ensures there is always something of interest in her potscape. Diane also advises experimenting with different heights and textures to create a layered effect. Taller pots or plants can be placed at the back or in the center of a circular arrangement, while smaller pots and trailing plants like ivy can fill in the gaps and soften the edges. This approach creates a sense of movement and flow, guiding the viewer's eye across the display and making the arrangement feel dynamic and alive. Seasonal adjustments. Keeping your potscape fresh year-round. One of the keys to successful potscaping is being willing to adjust and refresh your arrangement throughout the year. As Diane points out, some plants may start to look tired or out of place as the seasons change. She suggests potting up twice a year, once at the beginning of the growing season and again mid-season, to keep things looking their best. This might involve swapping out plants that have finished blooming for fresh ones or moving pots around to better catch the light or create new focal points. Diane is already thinking ahead to the winter months, planning to introduce cyclamen for a pop of color that will last through the colder season. By continually adding and adjusting plants, she maintains a vibrant, ever-changing display that evolves with the seasons, ensuring there is always something beautiful to see. Inviting wildlife with thoughtful pot choices. Beyond their visual appeal, pots can also serve a practical purpose in creating a wildlife-friendly garden. Diane has carefully chosen plants that attract pollinators like bees and butterflies, contributing to a healthy garden ecosystem. Pinks, Blues and purples are particularly effective for this purpose, as these colors are known to attract a variety of beneficial insects. By planting a mix of flowering plants that bloom at different times, Diane ensures there is always a source of nectar available for pollinators throughout the growing season. Additionally, incorporating plants with varying textures and forms, such as the spiky leaves of agapanthus or the trailing vines of ivy, adds to the biodiversity of the garden and provides shelter for small creatures. Concluding thoughts: the art of potscaping. Potscaping is more than just a gardening technique. It's an art form that allows you to express your creativity and enhance your outdoor space. Whether you have a sprawling garden, a compact terrace, or a small patio, using pots effectively can bring color, structure, and life to your surroundings. Diane's tips and insights provide a valuable starting point for anyone looking to explore this versatile gardening approach. So, start experimenting with different pots, plants, and arrangements, and soon you'll find your own unique style that reflects your personality and the character of your garden. Remember, the possibilities are endless, and so are the rewards. Happy gardening. 4.